All right, fellas, I've given up saying ladies. Welcome to the Sim Series, Episode 5, the third course of the series, 3rd out of 10 on these Sims. This one's called Blue Bayou. It's really wacky, and you can probably already see that. Like, I hit a pretty good drive. It wasn't the best, but I don't even know where I was aiming. It had me starting that way, and I just had no chance to carry. So I just had to take the drop, I guess, laterally. This is about as difficult as possible. So this course is, I looked it up. It's gotten really bad reviews, even for a sim course, which is hilarious. Like, this doesn't exist, and it's a par 68, but it's also incredibly difficult and zany. Like, look at the map on the right side, if you can see. I have to basically hit through just this web and maze again, and this is now my third shot. I have 350 yards. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm sort of standing there dumbfounded, you can see. No real idea what to do, but I just sort of get over this one and hit, and I hate it immediately. I mean, I yanked it, and I'm like, where is this going to go? Bounces right through the tree and onto another tee box, which I guess is a good break. So I have 143 to get up and down. And so I'm like, okay, I mean, all things considered, for a crazy hole like this where I have 350 yards for my third shot, this isn't all that bad. So I'm grabbing either the 9-iron or the pitching wedge. I'm probably getting a little arrogant and going with the pitching wedge here. Lofting it really high up and over. And I like it, and I hit it really nice. And I end up with that for par, 140 yards. Crazy first hole. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I put it to 20 feet, have a chance for a par at the first. So got to be thrilled with that. That's one that I'll take all day. Just have a pretty flat putt, a little bit left to right at the end that I just want to get close, would love to make for par, but I just did not hit it. And it barely gets inside the gimme zone. That'll be a pattern of a few of the next videos. So you'll see that 6-foot range has been really helpful for me. So when I hit the course, which will hopefully be soon, starting to get warm again here in the Midwest. So going to be out on the real course and putting everything out. So, but here I am, hole 2, par 3, real short, like 133, saw one off, and I hit an absolute beauty there. It just does take a big bounce off the front fairway, and it keeps rolling, and I'm pretty upset with it because I hit a great shot. Now I've got this really difficult putt over 2 hills, my 11,000th 30-footer coming back towards the front of the green of the series so far. But it's a chance at birdie and a chance to redeem my 1 over par, and I never hit it. That's one of the worst putts I've ever hit. That's so bad. It's still have over 12 feet left. I'm cursing myself out. What am I doing? So have a really flat putt. I mean, I've never had a flatter putt. All I have to do is hit this straight at the hole and give it enough pace, but it's 13 feet, and I just tap it again. I haven't. Look at how frustrated I am. That's such an embarrassing putt. And now I'm 2 over through 2. I have no idea what's about to await me. And now here comes this hole that it looks like there's another green that's in play off to the left, but that's like for the last hole. There's a narrow landing zone here. I think it's all water to the left. This is crazy. So I'm just lining up, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to, just blast one and hope it works out, try to hit a draw. And I smoke it, but then I realize there's water through everything. And so I'm worried about that a little bit, but I'm lucky to get a really good bounce, and that ended up being my best drive of the day. So really happy with that. I have a slightly tree-obstructed second shot into this green, even though, I hit it perfectly in a perfect leave, but, you're punished for good shots at this course. But in any case, I should be hitting it left to right. I should be keeping this on the green, I hope. I left it out there a little bit, and that's a pretty good effort. I will take that any day of the week. Just end up 20 feet short, 20 feet up the hill. That's one that I'll take all day. And I'm yapping at my putter, telling it, you've got to hit the ball, and it's got to get to the hole. So let's see if the pep talk I gave it can work. It doesn't look like I gave it a confident stroke, but I at least get it to the hole. So I'm satisfied with that. It wasn't the greatest read, but it's a good putt, and it's in tap-in range. It's a par. I'm finally settling in. So to the fourth hole we go. I'm looking at a nice wide open, or so it seems, fairway, a little under 400 yards, very manageable hole. Just got to hit it nicely off the tee. Anything right should be okay. And I hit it left. I hit it nicely enough left so that it ends up okay. I was worried off the tee. That was my thought process, was, oh boy, this is going left, but end up in great position. This is a wide fairway. So 96 yards left, just a little sawed-off P wedge. You could see even a little bit, you could see on the map and on, I guess, the regular layout that there's a little bit of a slope to work off to the right, or so it appears. So even if you go a little bit long, you might have a backstop. And I yank it, but I am happy with that. But you'll see this ridge absolutely pushes it way down to the front of the green. And ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen, I keep saying ladies. No ladies are watching this. Look at this putt, and look at the path that my last shot took. It worked its way up and came back down, and they have the hole on the ridge. So essentially, if this doesn't go in, it's just going to miss hard. Look at that. I mean, I don't really have much of a chance. It wasn't the world's worst putt, because if I hammer it, I'm going to be 35 feet by. So now I have 10 feet, and this could be if I keep missing, it's going to go on forever as I look back out the window as people take a look at the golf sim. That was my little wry smile. Now I got to refocus for this putt, hit it really hard, and it just misses. But I'm glad I missed on the high side, so I'm really not all that upset with that bogey there. It was a nice shot that got unlucky and got punished for something that's good. And so just have to take my medicine and laugh. This is sim golf, folks. Onto this pretty stock, maybe a little bit sawed off 7-iron. Yeah, you'll see I tried to save it a little bit at the end and saw it off so it didn't get too armsy, and that's a really good effort. I took a nice smooth swing, made good contact, didn't cut a ton, but had the yardage on the money. Really nice swing there, 25 feet for my birdie. This is one that's going to break, downhill left to right. Had this putt a million times. You're going to have to hit it similarly, maybe a little bit less than you have in the past, and that's got a good chance to go in. Gave it a really nice strike there, and inside 2 feet, gimme. That's another par. So off we go onto the par 5. This, if you can get it to that extended fairway landing zone, you're going to be in a really good spot. So it's a wider fairway than it appears if you hit it well, but I think that if you don't, and right there I don't get the most of it, but I hit a nice cut off the heel so that it lands right in that little, I guess the smallest part of the fairway, but I got really lucky. I hit it so poorly that it worked out for me. So 230 left into this par 5. I'm really happy. I got a +3, got a chance to get back to +2. Just got to put a good swing on this. Start out to the left, swing it back to the right. But it stays out to the left. I off the club, I thought it might be really nice if it cut, because I hit it exactly where I wanted to, but I smoked it. It went dead left on me. And now I'm short-sighted, so I'm going to have to hit a little, open P wedge, 36 yards. This is going to have to be as subtle as it gets. This is a yardage you never hit with your pitching wedge with no green to work with. This could roll out 50 feet if you get it to the green. And that's what I do. It takes a huge bounce. And I'm going to have my usual 30-footer back down the hill. And that's what I have for the 11,001st time in this series. 30 feet downhill, left to right. I feel like I talk ad nauseum about that. Going to have to put this one home, or one like this at some point, because it's frankly embarrassing that I haven't yet. And I start that one off really high, but just don't have the pace. I had a great line for the proper pace, but the pace was not proper, and that's going to be a par. But a good par. I'm starting to settle in here. I have 120 yards elevated, so it's playing more like about probably 25. Hitting a P wedge. I'm going to try to take a little something off, but pretty much a stock swing. I keep it really straight, at least as straight as I can, but it doesn't get there with that elevation. Really, the elevation did me in. If it was flat, it would have been really good. This, now I've got a lip that I've got to, like I said, go almost vertical with a pitching wedge, or make the feel be almost vertical. So I'm getting really low, hands down to the shaft. Pause. Off the front of that bunker, bounces off and over, and I actually, mission failed successfully as I slap the ball around in my failed attempts to pick it up. 17 feet for par, pretty flat. I shouldn't give up the hole here. Those dots aren't even moving. This is as flat as they come. But I end up overreading this again. I tried to put it at the hole, but I end up reading it out too far right. It's a really good putt overall, honestly. And it might have even bent a little to the left at the end. So I can't be all that upset with that. It's a bogey, unfortunately, but it's a bogey I can accept. And here we are at the 8th hole, 450 yards, another long hole, and bending it to the right. And I got to try to hit a cut here. I'm going to have to try to hit a sweeping cut. And that's exactly what I do. I am absolutely thrilled with that off the club. However, I don't get it to the bend because I don't actually check the yardage that it would take to that bunker. So my Achilles heel, again, is hitting it into fairway bunkers off the tee. I am an absolute sucker. Playing the tips is the yardage I should be playing because it's the yardage where my drives end up in the bunkers. So unfortunately for me, it hurts my game, but it's also the appropriate challenge. 172, this is a really stock 7, and I just flare it way open. It's got to sit, and it barely does. Now I've got a lot of green to work with here, though. It is 31 yards. It's a little bit more than chip. This is a delicate one with the P-wedge. Let's see if I open it up here or if I stay low with it. Because it's really two options here, but it's a decent carry to the front of the green, so there's some risk if I go low. So I went decently high with it. Took a nice bounce for me. I'm actually pleased with that. It came up short, but it could have been a lot worse. Now I've got a par putt. So par putts are good in this business for the most part, especially when they're inside of 15 feet. They're good in this business at this course. They're not good for every course, like when I shot a 73 at the previous course. So putting it, again, I overread it. Those dots weren't moving. I just got to work on my putting. The putting is going to hold me back from, I'm a good player. I'm not a great player. And by no means am I an excellent player. So I just want to make the leap from good to great. From great to excellent is, I don't know if I'll ever get there, but good to great is going to require putting. And we'll see if I can get that to translate on the regular course. But I need to work on driver accuracy, and I need to work on putting. But some of that will come with my own clubs. I may even do a What's in the Bag series with my 7 different club brands in the bag. At the 9th hole, the final hole of the video, I hit a really nice contact. Hit the driver with really nice contact, but it just doesn't cut on me. Still have 194 in. I'm going to have to either take it over or around these trees. And because I don't have a 194 club in the bag, I'm going to have to take a big cut with that 5-wood. So that's what I'm going to try to do here, saw it off with the 5-wood. But it's hard for me to both saw it off and hit a big cut. So I try to hit that same best shot of my life. And I would say that's 80% successful. It's not on the green, but I had the yardage exactly what I wanted. I put it just to the left of the hole, not a ton of green to work with again. So I just got to loft it just way up. Like, this has got to be perfect. So here I am, just got to hit it perfectly, and I get so lucky with that. That was another bank shot. Takes the speed off it. I know I'm lucky. I got away with it like Tiger at 17. But +5 there, I can't be all that unhappy with it. See you next time.